Being love and blissing out with the loving energy. The Loving Energy newsletter, sneak issue number 3. 1. Hello birthday. 2. The Divine reveals love and bliss. 3. Clean body self-love. 4. Second Pyramid Transmission Edition Bliss. 5. I am as blessed as the East Sea. One. Hello birthday. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Loving Energy newsletter, sneak issue number 3, which is all about birthdays. My birthday was earlier this month, and I decided to do something different. I decided that I would not announce my birthday to Photoman and see what happened. Growing up, my mom would announce everyone's birthday at least a week in advance in case we forgot. And we do. I do forget, because I was so used to my mom's reminders. My mom's birthday was last month, and I forgot. Every year around my mom's birthday, which is after Chinese New Year and before my own birthday, I would ask my brother for the exact date. This year, I asked him about a week too late. Last year, when I announced my upcoming birthday to Photoman, he said, "Yes, I know, you think I don't remember, but I do. I was going to surprise you." I wouldn't have minded if he didn't remember. My mom wasn't angry with me, and so there was no valid reason why I should be angry with Photoman should he forget about my birthday. Really, I thought, I wouldn't mind some peace and quiet. It can be stressful sometimes to have to think of something special to do to match the specialness of the day one was born. Photoman spends most of the week at the village house with my father-in-law who has Alzheimer's and needs a lot of care. I was prepared to be on my own on my special day. Photoman happened to come home the night before my birthday because he had to do something in town the next day. Interesting, I thought. Did he remember? The next day when I came home from the gym, Photoman and Decca had gone to the beach, and I noticed that Photoman had fixed the balcony door which couldn't close properly for several months. I had asked again and again for him to fix it because when it didn't close properly, it let in a lot of traffic noise, which bothered me when I was making audio recordings. Was it a coincidence that he picked my birthday to fix the door for me? Or did he remember? My birthday turned into my favorite thing to do, solving mystery. I started getting excited and had to remind myself again and again not to mention anything. Sometimes Photoman would go back to the village as soon as he finishes what he has to do in town. I asked Photoman his plans for the day. He said he would stay for dinner with me because he already arranged a village friend to serve my father-in-law lunch and dinner for the day. I was a bit annoyed because I wanted to order takeaway for dinner and I didn't want his opinion of what to order. Whatever, I thought, I would order whatever I wanted and ignore him in case he protested. I was nearly half a century old and I could decide on what I have for dinner. Maybe he knew. Maybe he was pretending not to remember. Maybe he was playing some mind game with me. I must not assume that he didn't know, for if he did know, I would have been the loser of this game. After Photoman went to town and back, he said he was going to town again to have his watch fixed. "May I come for the ride?" I asked, because I felt like going for a ride. "Of course." Photoman seemed happy with this development. A bustling little cafe caught my eye, and I asked Photoman if he wanted to have a coffee. He said yes. Yes to cafe is a 50-50 for Photoman, and so his yes didn't imply whether he remembered my birthday or not. The little cafe seemed packed full. I told Photoman I would like to have cake and I would investigate if they had nice cakes there. They didn't. We went to a cafe which I liked instead, and they had cakes there. Photoman didn't make any comments about me wanting cake. He should have. I enjoy making cakes, but I seldom eat cakes. I enjoy a vast variety of unnutritious food items, but I almost never ask for cakes. Photoman must be onto something. He didn't say anything when the cakes came. He didn't say anything at all as we ate our cakes. He is good, I thought. Or maybe he just forgot. Either way, I had fun allowing this mystery to unfold. He also didn't comment on my phone receiving an abnormal amount of notifications. Facebook announced my birthday to my 1,400 friends, and some of them messaged me happy birthday. It was when we got home when the mystery was solved. The village friend who was a helper for my father-in-law phoned Photoman to ask him something. Photoman had speakerphone on, and I could understand part of the Greek conversation. At the end of the call, she asked him to wish me Χρόνια πολλά, which means many years, and it is a common phrase that people use to wish each other happy birthday or on other important days. What? Stephanie? Why? Photoman asked. I didn't catch what the friend said because I was too busy laughing. She probably told him he was in trouble because Photoman glanced at me and reported that I was laughing. Why didn't you tell me? Photoman asked. To see what happened. Would you have preferred to know? Yes, of course. I would have liked to do something with you, Photoman exclaimed. But look at what happened. You somehow came home yesterday and are spending the day with me. You fixed the balcony door. We had cakes. When there is love, every day is a birthday. Plus, I got my game of mystery and a good laugh. May you have love and a good laugh always. Love, Stephanie said, the loving energy. In the blog article, Tell Her, A Guidance for Love to Bloom, I tell a circumcision story in which a guidance for love to bloom came through. The guidance is simple and is applicable for all sorts of relationships. The link of the article is in the description. Two, the Divine Reveal's Love and Bliss. The Divine Reveal, TDR, is a quantum health process that typically runs for 5 to 8 weeks, approximately 12 to 14 hours appointment time. Ruth Ahern was inspired by Anita Moorjani's near-death experience, NDE, as detailed in her book Dying to Be Me, to create this unique modality for bringing phenomenal transformation to committed individuals. All sessions are conducted online via Zoom. The first 2 steps of the TDR process, the TDR introductory session and Dying to Be Me book discussion, are always free of charge, so that you will have necessary information to decide if and when you want to engage in the whole process. The whole TDR process is currently on a pay-what-you-want basis. Yes, you can pay whatever amount you want during any of the steps of the process. To read more about TDR or to schedule a TDR introductory session, please use the links in the description. My little birthday episode reminds me of something Anita Moorjani said in her book Dying to Be Me. She wrote, "When I'm being loved, I don't get drained, and I don't need people to behave a certain way in order to feel cared for or to share my magnificence with them. They're automatically getting my love as a result of me being my true self, and when I am non-judgmental of myself, I feel that way toward others." When I awoke into my infinite self, I was amazed to understand that my life could be dramatically different just by realizing that I am love, and I always have been. I don't have to do anything to deserve it. Understanding this means that I'm working with life force energy, whereas performing at being loving is working against it. There are years when I felt stressed that I had to do something special for my birthday and that I had to be happy. This year, I decided I would enjoy my day whatever happened, and I allowed it to unfold. It became the most blissful day ever. It shows that just like we are love and we don't have to perform at being loving, bliss is also our natural state and we don't have to try to make it happen. Three, clean body self-love. The thought of the moon cycle is 潔身自愛, clean body self-love. The idiom 潔身自愛, clean body self-love started as 潔身自好, clean body self-good, which originated from the teaching of Mencius, a Chinese Confucian philosopher. Mencius spoke of a legendary saint who was recruited by a wise and able emperor. There are rumors that the saint worked as a cook to please the emperor with his favorite dishes in order to get the emperor's favor. Mencius said a righteous person would never corrupt themselves in any way to get what they wanted. Instead, they always 潔身自好, clean body self-good, which means they would keep themselves clean and they stay away from corruption or people with bad influence, and they will not pay attention to anything that is not righteous. Mencius commented that it was rare to have a righteous person working with an emperor. Throughout history, there had been righteous government officials whom the public looked up to, but often these officials were either framed and prosecuted because they refused to associate with corrupt people, or they resigned or even ended their own life when they were forced to act without integrity. Mencius said, 修身齊家治國平天下, cultivate oneself, regulate the family, govern the country, and bring peace to the world. If we want to bring peace to the world, we need to first of all cultivate ourselves before we can bring positive influence to our family, the country, or the world. During this moon cycle, remind yourself to 潔身自愛, clean body self-love, and observe if you are keeping yourself clean by staying away from corruption or people with bad influence, bearing in mind that being harsh with yourself or putting yourself down are some of the bad influence we picked up from authority figures when we were young. It is not easy to know what self-love is when we grew up in a culture that didn't value this most essential quality. In the video, Louise Hay, How to Love Yourself, Louise Hay shared 10 guidelines on how to love ourselves. I put a link to this video in the description and in the end screen of this video. For circumperiment transmission, addition, bliss. I never know how exactly a circumtreatment can benefit my client, and I rely on them to tell me what they noticed. I was a flight attendant for many years, and an ex-colleague told me what she thought was the result of one of the circumtreatments she received from me. First, let me describe the scenario to you. Before every flight, we had to report to the headquarters minimum 90 minutes before flight departure time. Everyone arrived earlier than that because pre-flight briefing started 90 minutes before departure time, and if we weren't in the briefing room before that, we gave bad impressions to the in-flight manager and other senior colleagues. We flew with different sets of colleagues on every flight, and our life could be hell if one of the senior crew members had an evil eye on us. We usually stopped by the mailbox room to collect mails, which included a must-read newsletter which featured news like changes in service or safety procedures, and we could be quizzed on these items during briefing. If we didn't know the answer, again, doomsday. By the way, we got quizzed during every briefing for service and safety procedures, and if we didn't answer correctly, we could be grounded, literally. Then there was the laundry service counter where we dropped off soiled uniform and picked up fresh ones. Sometimes we had to visit uniform department to exchange for uniform items. There were the bank and ATM machines which were frequented by flight attendants. There was a food court, and some of us liked to have a meal before flight. If we were unlucky, we could be called to the office for various reasons, such as customer complaints. Many flight attendants would also use the company computers to swap flights. Since there would be at least a few hours where we couldn't use the internet, we tried to do as much as we could while we could. We took flight swapping very seriously, like a life and death matter, because we all liked to have control in where we go and our day offs. The company headquarters was a stressful place, and the half an hour or so before flight briefing was anxiety-ridden. Not for my client, who reported that when she went to work a few days after our session, she got a coffee from the coffee stand and she floated through task after task without looking at her watch at all. She even had a lovely chat when she bumped into someone she knew. She only looked at the time when she somehow found herself in front of the briefing room 5 minutes before the briefing start time. "Oh," she casually exclaimed to herself and continued to enjoy her bliss throughout the flight. "I was so relaxed, and it was so unlike me at work. You know what it's like. It wasn't like that at all. I even tried to feel some tension, but I couldn't. But I wasn't surprised. It seemed so natural to be this way," she said. Ah, bliss. I cannot think of another place as blissful as the Unicorn Land. Few years ago, a unicorn friend came and took me to the Unicorn Land. It was so wonderful there that I kept returning. I invite you to share this amazing place with me in the Visiting the Unicorn Guided Meditation video. I put the link to this video in the description on the end screen of this video. Second Pyramid transmission started when an idea came to me to share Second in a simple way. It is not how I normally facilitate a Second treatment. What I do with Second Pyramid transmission is that I channel a certain amount of Second energy for you. I also create a pyramid for you at sacred place to be placed around you when you are receiving the transmission. My Divine Spirit team fills the pyramid with elements and colors according to the moon cycle's collective energy needs. You can receive this transmission at your convenience during this moon cycle. Here's what you need to do in order to receive this transmission. 1. Get comfortable by either sitting with your back supported or lying down on your back for relaxation and circulation. 2. Give intention to the effect of, "I would like to receive the snake issue number 3, Second Pyramid transmission now, to my highest good and will." 3. Relax for about half an hour. That's it. This time, my Divine Spirit team filled the pyramid with vibration of ocean, white sky, sapphire, diamond, green topaz, and chili. Look up the properties of these items if you feel drawn to. You may or may not feel anything. It's fine. Having sensation is not a requirement. The only requirement is that you are willing to receive. Please remember to say, "To my highest good and will," so you know you are in control. If you have any questions, please leave a comment here. I certainly would love to hear about your experience. If you want to share the gift of Second Pyramid transmission with your friends, please send them the link to subscribe for the Loving Energy newsletter, which can be found in the description. I am as blessed as the East Sea. The "You are amazing" affirmation of this moon cycle is, "I am blessed like the East Sea." 福如東海, blessed as East Sea, is a traditional idiom we say to people on their birthday. East Sea refers to East China Sea, which covers an area of about 770,000 square kilometers. East Sea is used as a simile in this idiom not because of its vastness, but because of the following legend. Long time ago, there was a drought in a region in China. The crops failed and villagers were hungry and cold. A brave young man went to the East Sea to try his luck and caught a huge fish which he cut into pieces and shared with the villagers. He kept only a small piece of the head for himself. The young man went home to prepare the fish head for dinner, and when it was almost ready, he heard a knock on the door. He opened the door to a rough-looking old woman wearing ragged clothes begging for food. Without anything else to offer, the young man served her the fish head while he stayed hungry. The old woman regained her strength after the meal as she kneeled down and kowtowed to the young man to show her gratitude. When she got up, she became a beautiful young goddess. She introduced herself as the third daughter of the Dragon King of the Great East Sea. She informed the young man a way to save the villagers. When a kind person drinks 3 mouthfuls of water from the East Sea, they can dig for water in any land, and they will have all the desires fulfilled. The young man led the villagers to the East Sea to drink sea water. Upon return, wherever they dug, water came up to fill the hole. Soon there was a river flowing, and the river contained sweet and refreshing water. The villagers never had shortage of food again. The young goddess stayed in the village and married the young man, happy ever after. During this moon cycle, say, I am as blessed as the East Sea, daily and often, to remind yourself that you are blessed, and even through the toughest of times, be kind and never lose hope. We have reached the end of the snake issue number 3. The next issue will arrive at your mailbox on the 28th of April, Monday, which is the first day of the 4th month in the Chinese calendar. Yes, the next new moon day.